Welcome back, everybody. We're going to add the final touches to our cup and saucer drawing after we have drawn them and painted them using ellipses. Right now, we're left with a flat looking cup that's got a horizon line. So we have a table, we have a background, but we want to add a little bit more to it to give it that zhuzh. We want it to look really interesting. We want it to have lots of detail. So to start off, what we're going to do is take some markers. You can take any type of Crayola markers. You could take Sharpies, which is what I'm going to use, and we're going to draw directly on top of our painting that we have done. The only thing is we have to pick a darker color than what is already existing. So if I were to try to draw on this color here, say with yellow, it might show up a little bit. Kind of. It can show up. It could try, you test it out. If it looks good and you like it, you can definitely use it. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do purple here. And I like that little diagonal that I started with. So I'm going to go, see how I mixed some colors there? It looks interesting. I'm going to go ahead and draw some diagonal lines. Being careful to not go through my cup. I'm going behind my cup. And this is going to be a tablecloth pattern. If you want to use a ruler for something like this, you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm holding my paper flat with one hand as I draw with the other. And my paper, since I painted it, it's curling up a little bit on me too, so it's important that I hold that down. All right, so I've got a little pattern there. I need more. I'm going to add some dotted lines in between. I really want to have a lot of pattern on this. Remember, a pattern is something that repeats itself. And the more detail I have on my artwork, the more interesting this is going to look. And again, my paper's curling up a little bit, so it's a little funny. Get my dashed lines in there. All right, a little bit more detail is there. I want more detail. I want even more. So I'm gonna add some circles right on top of these dots. You can really just keep adding and adding and adding. And I'm just making some small circles right on the original line that I put down there. It's not super time consuming, but it's making it look unique and original. All right, I've got some dots down. I'm liking that, it's a little interesting. I might go back and add a little something later. I'm going to separate my horizon line areas here, so I'm going to separate the background from my table. Alrighty, it's looking pretty decent. We get something going on there that looks all right. Now, I'm going to take, red's a little bit darker than orange, so I'm going to go ahead and outline my saucer with some red. Maybe not. Yeah, I'm going to go inside my saucer. I like that. I'm learning as I go. You learn as you go too. We'll go ahead and do that, and then maybe we'll put some little swirls inside. Remember, lots of pattern is what I'm looking for. Lots and lots of pattern is going to make this really interesting and fun to look at. I think I'm actually going to outline this with black. That's going to really have it stand out. There we go. I like the black. Being careful to go right on that paint line. And I'm going to make a little shadow down here. So I'm making this line a little bit thicker so it stands out a little bit more. Okay, I've got my saucer. I can outline my steam too. So the steam coming from my cup, I'll outline that. Just so it stands out a little bit more. And once I've got this done, I need to figure out what I want to do for my coffee cup or my tea cup, whatever this cup is. Looks like a little combination of both, mug slash teacup. All right, so maybe I'll take my red again. I'm going to continue this swirl pattern. I kind of like this. So I'm going to make some little swirls. Some big, some small, all cute. Just to fill up some space, creating that pattern to make it look interesting. Make that look a little bit more swirly. Couple on the handle, maybe some dots on the handle. Again, this is up to you, and there are millions of patterns out there. You can pick whatever you want to. I'm going to try yellow. I'm not sure if yellow is going to show up on this. Not really. What kind of? Can you see that? That's the one tough part about using the lightest color markers. They don't really show up. But this, it does a little bit. I think my teacup needs a little bit more zhuzh, so I'm going to go ahead and make some black in there too. Or maybe some black polka dots in between my red ones. Once you think you've got your pattern done, add a little bit more. It really gives your artwork that extra kick. Makes it look really, really interesting. Put a little bit of shadow down there too. All right, so I've got my cup done. Maybe I'll make a little pattern on the inside of my cup too. And turn this a little bit to make it easier for me to reach. Feel free to do that at any time. Turn your paper as you need to. And then after I do my inside, I want to do something for the background. Ooh, that's looking good. I like that a lot. So, you know what I might do too? Add a little bit more steam. That white is a little too bright for me, so I'm going to add a little steam with lines coming through here, just to make it look extra steamy. All right, now on to my background. I'm going to try a little crisscross pattern, and I'm going to try some blue. And that shows up nice. I'm going to go one way with some diagonal lines. And this is just me doing what I want to do. I want to see what you want to do. What kind of pattern would you like to make? Whatever pattern you make sure it's nice and neat and it's not, that's not a pattern, right? Scribbles aren't patterns. Make sure you make a nice, neat pattern that is not scribbly. This blue shows up really nice on this purple. And if you're super particular, you can get a ruler if you want to. I am not super particular. I'll give a little shadow to that too. Looks kind of interesting, helps it stand out. Covers up some of those mistakes too. Okay, so I got my lines going one way. I'm gonna go the other way now. And this curly paper is definitely giving me a run for my money. Now I could stop here. I'm kind of liking this pattern. Patterns is definitely the way to go with this. Turn my paper again a little bit. Now next, I might even want to put a little pattern inside of each one of these. So maybe a little circle inside. It's up to you. When you think you're done, add more. It's always going to be interesting. I'm going to stop right there because I want you to get going on yours, and I want to see what you've done so far. Hopefully you've been working along with me and you've got some really cool stuff done. But check it out. It came a long way from that plain, flat looking piece of work to this. It's sort of popping out at you, and there's a lot of stuff going on. I've got some metallic Sharpies too, which might make a really cool brightness on this, and it's not really showing up so much on the paint. If you have any oil pastels that have a light color, you might want to try those. This, I had higher hopes for this, but that's not too bad. Showing up a little bit. I'll try my bronze one. Okay, this one working a little bit better. So you can do patterns on top of patterns on top of patterns, as long as it doesn't look messy and you're liking where it's going. You can just keep on adding and adding and adding. It's up to you to say when to stop. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. I can't wait to see what you've done. I know you worked really hard with these patterns. It's a little time consuming, but so worth it. So make sure that you make it happen and take that time and do a good job, because I know you can do it. It was great working with you. I'll see you soon. Bye.